With this Counterfeit 2 project, I decided to do a mini tour, and it's very short. It's just 8 dates. You know, that includes everywhere in the world. And at the moment, we happen to be in Milan, and we're filming the show tonight. They're obviously songs that mean a lot to me. There are thousands of songs that I like in the history of music, but you know, I narrowed it down to a short list of about 20, and 11 of them made it on this record. I think making the record was a lot harder than I imagined it would be, because after choosing the songs, I thought it would be a fairly simple process of then going into a studio and re-recording them. But obviously you have a lot of respect for the songs, and you have to try and decide what the important elements are that you like and what moved you about the original versions that you want to then capture on your version. So that takes a lot of trial and error and a lot of time. You got your vocal level?
Yeah, I always do. Yeah.
Well, it's funny, I feel less nervous playing these shows and being a frontman for an hour and a half than I do playing with Depeche Mode, and I think that's partly due to the fact that I suffer from panic attacks, and panic attacks usually only happen when you've got nothing else to think about. When you've got to be constantly singing and thinking about lyrics, you know, you don't have time for panic attacks.
For the things I do, but before you come to...
We did 15 months once with the Songs of Faith and Devotion tour, and we learnt our lesson. We realised that was far too long, so we tentatively went back into touring again with the Greatest Hits album. We did 4 months, and then with Exciter we did 5 months. Which I think for the band's fine, but I prefer to do things a little bit shorter than that. And also I was unsure about how I would enjoy the whole experience. I've never had to do a show before as a frontman for an hour and a half, so you know, it was an unknown factor, but I've actually really enjoyed it. So I think this was the way to do it, because now, you know, later in the summer or whenever, I can decide to go out and play some more dates if I want to. Andy has turned up tonight, so it'll be interesting to see what he thinks. I don't know what he's expecting, because he told me that, you know, he didn't want to go on the internet and find out what the set list was or anything. He wanted to be surprised. So, you know, I'll be very intrigued to hear his response after the show.
This is Fletch. I've come to see Martin. I haven't seen any show at the moment. I don't know what songs he's playing. I don't know what his set order is. I spoke to him on the phone a couple of times, and he says it's, for him, he says it's gone fantastic. So I'm looking forward to it, and it's nice to see Martin, I think, down to a sort of a minimal apparatus with just a few of them on stage, and so I'm looking forward to it.
The audiences have been fantastic at all of the shows, and even though the album's not out, they all seem to know it. You know, with the internet these days, I mean, it's you know, it's a good thing in some ways that, you know, you can play new material that's not available in the shops and they'll know every word. That's one of the good points about the internet.
Come on, you fuck.
I can hear it. Good sign. Good sign. Yeah.
All right.
Party making?
Party making. Good luck, chaps. Have fun. Keep smiling.
Are we on?
Oh. Yeah, let's cave.
I like to always give myself a break from writing because I think it helps to bottle up creativity so that when I do then give myself a writing period, things flow a lot easier. I think it'll be good for me to actually try and get an album under my belt by the end of the year, or some point in early 2004, so that Depeche Mode can go back into the studio and start working on something.